We're here with Paul Stanford today and the Cannabis Common Sense and the amazing team at THCF. I want to thank everybody who turned out to Portland Hempstalk this year in 2013. It has been a fantastic event.
My name is Michael Wolf Siegel. Most folks call me Wolfie. It was my privilege to have been a friend of Jack Harris from 1985 until 2009. What we're getting ready to puff in Jack's honor is some of the very last half ounce of what Jack puffed right after he came off stage at Hempstalk 2009, after having made the most powerful, incredibly impassioned speech that he had made since his stroke. Jack puffed. We finished the conversation. I came back to refill the bag. When I came back out, Jack wasn't there. Walked over. There was a crowd surrounding Jack. He was on the ground and was headed out. This used to be called something else. These days it's called Jack's Journey. But this is the vaporizer. It was the last vaporizer, the last utensil that was used to give Jack cannabis. The cannabis is the same, the exact same. It's the last half ounce of that. I've held on to it as stash even when I was about to get thrown out on the street and turned down $1,000 for it. We're puffing it now in Jack's honor. We're remembering our friend. We're looking at what we've managed to accomplish this year, and we're thinking about Jack, and we're saying, Jack, you know what? We're going to get that load the rest of the way for you, buddy.
So as we pass it around, let's share our memories of Jack.
Those of us that are here too are awesome.
I'll start, I guess. I'll make mine quick and brief. Jack Hare hired me to operate his office in 1990. It was quite a bit of a mess. He was going on tour. He had to take care of so many things, and he had no time. The most important thing for him at that moment was to get on tour and to go to the universities around the United States and let everybody know that it was important to end hemp prohibition. He had just gotten his book, The Emperor Wears No Clothes, off the press again. I think it was like the 7th edition. And he had no time to deal with all the things that his life demanded of him. So he hired me to come on and be the guy who ran his office and handled his airline schedule and made sure all the books got to all the cities when he had to show up and give a speak and sign books and let everybody know that prohibition needed to end. And so I'm very blessed because when I met Jack, Jack changed my life. I certainly was heading in a totally different direction than becoming a hemp activist. But when I met Jack Hare, he made me promise to be just that, a hemp activist. And he made me promise to do it until I was 65. Hemp was legal or until I died, whichever came first. And Jack, I love you. It's quite an honor for you to share this with me, and I want to thank you so very, very much. How did you first meet Jack?
The first time I met Jack, he was living in Paul Stanford, the producer of the Hemp and Cannabis Foundation, or the director, the producer of Cannabis Common Sense, and the man responsible for bringing us Hempstalk. He was living in his basement, and then he didn't really register much with me, but then a few months later, we were both at National Normal in 1985. He introduced The Emperor, I introduced my book. It didn't go quite as far as Jack's, even though it was the first time C.F. Green ever got talked about. I then got to enjoy Jack and his company for the next 20-some years. Every time we'd hit a festival, a hemp fest or a hemp stock, and we had a great argument going about where man first, what the burning bush was. He said it was shrooms, I said it was the bush. But Jack, love you. We're going to get it done for you.
Well, for me, I was there the last day, smoking the same circle as Bastion Man on that same day. But the first time I met him would have been 3 or 4 years before that, right here at Hempstalk. But I had made, 35, 40 pounds of bud into bubble hash. And there for a while I had more bubble hash than we all knew what to do with. So I remember when Jack come down, I gave him about a golf ball size and said, hey, did I do any good? He took a fat rip and he said, well, I can tell you made it by hand. And I said, yeah. And he said, well, you did better than most. So in that honor, here's the Jack.
Cliff Duvall?
Well, unlike these gentlemen, I never really had the privilege to meet Jack. Unfortunately, my first Hempstalk was in 2010, and this is my third time here. And Jack has been one of the biggest inspirations and continues to be an inspiration to me today, and he's one of my basic mentors. He's always been one of my basic mentors in the movement. And I was talking to Jenny the other day, and I told her what an honor it was to be able to speak on Jack's stage, and I was able to speak on Jack's stage last night. That gives me such a flame, such a power, a fire inside me to be able to do something like that. Thank you so much for the inspiration that you give me and continue to give every activist every day, and all those new budding activists, pun intended, that keep coming out into the world today. Thank you, Jack. Your memory will live forever, and it's those that do for others who live forever. Thank you so much.
I almost didn't go to work for Jack. He came into where I was employed as a science supply maker, and insisted that because of the customer service I gave him, I come and handle his office. And he asked me several times on the phone, I told him no. He asked me several times in person, and I told him no. He sent Mark over one day to pick me up right when work was closing, pick up some of his banners at a time when it was about 4 o'clock. And on the way over, I was almost kidnapped by getting high and having fun, and just talked into going over and seeing what Dad had to say. And when I walked into Jack's house, there was Jack and Captain Ed, Chris Conrad, Mickey Norris, Dennis Perone. They were all working on the California Hemp Initiative, and a big bellowing voice yelled through the room, "There's my new office manager." And with the help of Captain Ed persuading me and a few other people in the room convincing me that it would be good for Jack if I came on board, and maybe even good for the marijuana movement, I agreed to become part of your family. The crowd that came out has just been stellar every year, and the vendors that turn out to make this event world class.
We're going to thank the sponsors right quick. Hemp and Cannabis Foundation, Paul Loney, attorney at law, world famous Cannabis Cafe, Green Leaf Labs, Top Shelf Medicine, Alternative Wellness, Rose City Labs, Rip City Glass, Hemp News, John Lucy, attorney at law, Leafly.com, and Mount Hood Wellness. We're going to bring up a speaker. He's the father of Marijuana TV and the host of Time for Hemp, which is a beautiful podcast. Put your hands together and welcome Casper Leitch, everybody.
Thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. I really appreciate you all coming out for this event. It makes this event even more meaningful when we see a lot of people out here having fun and bringing their friends out to share in the festivities. On behalf of Paul Stanford, THCF, we want to invite everybody out, not just for the day, but for next year and every year to come. Portland Hempstalk is now part of the history of this city, and it is an amazing part of this city's history that will long have an impact on the world around us. Paul Stanford's done an awful lot of work with his team here in the community that has had a major impact on the nation. And you can be part of that as well. You need to realize that your vote and you as a person and what you put into motion really matters. And you can change the world. So can this plant. Many people think that this plant is part of our past. It's not. Many people think that this plant has a history that will not take us into the future. That's not true. Today we face a lot of problems that can be solved by utilizing this particular plant. Fukushima is erupting radiation left and right. Hemp Creek can help isolate that problem. growing hemp can help clean the soil. If we were using hemp for fuel, the need for other resources would not be as much of a demand. With 3D printing, we're going to be marching into the future with printers that can print at home tennis shoes, t-shirts, food. There are 3D printers that even print 3D printers, and you're going to need material for those printers to do that, and hemp will be that material. Hemp makes paper, fiber, fuel, and we need that to take us into tomorrow. NASA right now is in the process of trying to figure out how to send astronauts to the moon and to Mars with 3D printers so that we can send them information via software from Earth to where they're at. They're going to need to be able to print all kinds of things where they're going to be, and they're going to be needing to utilize hemp. Just like Columbus used hemp to make sails to go into a new journey, to go into a new tomorrow, we will be using hemp to do the exact same thing. Hemp, ladies and gentlemen, is more than just medical marijuana, and we are grateful for all the inroads that the medical marijuana activists have done over the years. But let us not forget that industrial hemp is the real reason why this plant has been outlawed. It is in direct competition with every major industry on the planet. And once we start using industrial hemp, we will be creating jobs here at home, a stronger community, and a brighter tomorrow. I ask that you take this message with you when you leave here today and share it with those everywhere you go. That is the only way we are going to end prohibition. That is the only way we're going to reintroduce industrial hemp back into the farm community. That is the only way prohibition will end, is if you take what you know back home and share it with everybody and let them know how important it is to take time for hemp. Thank you very much for your time and your attention today. Man, I'll tell you, we are here at the 2013 Portland Hempstalk having a lot of fun, and I'm hanging out with Pony Boy, and when you hang out with Pony Boy, you always have a lot of fun. And Pony Boy, you got some of your posse hanging out with us today?
Man, let me tell you something. I only hang out with heavy hitters. This man that's next to me, this young man is like a cannabis wordsmith. His skills are extraordinary. You gotta meet him. His name is Mr. Ed King.
Ed King?
Ed King, the infamous Ed King.
Ed King, pleased to make your acquaintance.
How you doing there today?
Man, I have to check out your work. That's absolutely for sure. Now, Ed, how long have you been and Pony Boy been working together?
Oh, it's been a couple of moons now.
Yeah, a couple moons now, man. For sure.
You know?
Yeah. I did a song with him. He invited me to do a song with the legendary Marlon Asher.
The Ganja Farmer!
The Ganja Farmer, my nuggets. And this ain't no joke, this is real. Call me up today, I want you to jump on a verse. Me, Marlon Asher, Pony Boy, Mighty One, let's do it.
That's how
it's
we do
called
it.
We Dabbin'. Go to YouTube, check it out, type in Ed King, We Dabbin', and oh man, you guys are gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna sing your song, Casper. Exclusive, my nugget.
I know, well, you performed it on Paul Stanford's Cannabis Common Sense show, and it rocked. It really rocked. And it's one thing I like about your music is that it takes, you know, old school and makes it new school, so that everybody likes your work.
Old school, new school. We've been here for decades. We've been here for decades. Mighty One has been here for decades. We're old school, but we still. We're bringing, you know what it is, that we keep on reinventing ourselves, and as much as that marijuana is getting legalized around the United States, the more makes me want to put out even more cannabis club bangers, my nuggets. And that's spreading.
Well, that's the other thing I wanted to ask you is that your music is amazing. Your voice is fantastic. Your work as an artist is just stunning. And so I know you've had to have been approached by major labels to have probably asked you to give up the message of the ganja so you can take on a bigger paycheck and put out bigger CDs and have bigger concert turnouts? And maybe even
I refuse to sign with a company that tells me what to talk about or what to sing about. Marijuana is now I've been doing it since the first state, California, was passed for medical marijuana. That's how long marijuana's been doing stuff. Thank you to the greats like Total Devastation and Cypress Hill. All we did is took that stuff, bringing cannabis to the forefront. Right now, as we speak, how many stories are in the news right now, my nuggets? Right now, where they're talking about across the world, medical marijuana everywhere. The debate on medical marijuana, marijuana this, marijuana that.
You know, that gives me another question: is how is it that you came up with the expression nuggets to refer to the people who appreciate your work?
I started calling people my nuggets because it started with the negative word that they were calling other people, the N-word, my nuggets. And instead of saying my I'd rather say my nut. And you're like, what's my nut? My nut, if I call you my nugget, nuggets in my bag, those are my friends. So if I call you my nugget, you're my friend too, my nugget. And that's what it is, my nugget. It's real simple. You know, it sounds more positive. You know, a lot of people get it no matter what. When I talk about nuggets, you know what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about the nuggets that you eat. I'm talking about the nuggets you can smoke.
There you go.
Can you smell me or not?
I can smell you, and I appreciate it. Okay, Funny Boy, when you walk into a room, you fill it up with all kinds of charisma, love, and great vibrations. And I tell you, that precedes you everywhere you go. And for people to come out to your concerts, they're very lucky. And you're doing tour all across the United States, eh?
Yes, man. Well, like I said, we started with Maine. We've been blessed. 11 shows, Maine, Colorado for the great Bongathon. And they just signed us up for the Bongathon in Denver, Colorado. What else? Wow, man, what else? The ultimate Portland, I renamed it, look at my shirt, Portland Oil Gone.
I love it. Portland oil is gone, baby.
You know what I'm saying? Portland, instead of Oregon, it's oil gone.
Yeah.
But feel me, can you smell me? But feel me on this. I just brought it to mind. Well, I didn't bring it to mind. A friend of mine said, bro, do you know that you played Portland Oil Gone's Hempstalk for now 9 years, my nuggets? 9 years we've been here. Since the first fest 9 years ago by the lakefront, maybe 600 people attended. Maybe 600 people attended. Now, see the sea of people that come, the stoners that come to unite for positive, good vibes. We are honored to have played Portland Oregon 9 times. And I'm going to keep on playing Portland Oil Gone, Hempstalk, till the wheels fall off or till the weed runs out. Which that ain't going to happen. Hemp will save the world. All I know is just that soul. You got to let them know. You got to let them know that the emperor wears no clothes. Hemp parade, hemp will save the world today. Ask Jack Hare, man, I'll tell you many ways. $1 billion crop, man, $1 billion pop. All kinds of capital for the country gets got a $10,000 challenge to the world to prove them wrong. No one has stepped up to collect the goes on. That's why I'm backing up Jack with this song. Story must be told again, it's been too long. Those marijuanos and crusaders trying to spread the word, fuck the haters. Against the government, we're debaters. We need to legalize and say later. We gotta do it for our freedom fighters. Support our freedom fighters. Go ahead and pull out your lighters. And go ahead and light up your lighters. One. Medicine, food, fiber, paper. Educate yourself, beat the caper. The government's trying to sell us the dream. It's all about them trying to make them some cream. They gave us a nightmare, not the American dream. So we put together our own team to spread the word. Alameda Mascaria.
I'll tell you, we're having a lot of fun here at the Portland Hempstalk, and we want to let everybody know you should come down here and make it part of your vacation plans. And remember, the next time you see me, I'm hanging out with a lot of friends on behalf of Cannabis Common Sense, and it really is time for hemp.
Los marihuanos!
So the movement that we are in, that Captain Ed and I started, was that it would never be over until pot was legal, and every last prisoner was out of prison. There was nothing short of it. Medical initiative is nice, but if the people stay in prison, it doesn't address the issue. If they don't get their property back, we leave the government now able to punish us and future generations by taking away our property, taking away our children, and never having to say they're sorry. And I'm grateful for Dennis and us for winning in California, because now people are beginning to joke on television in a positive way. Jay Leno did it the other night. I heard somebody gave me reference to it, that he talked about smoking pot. It was in the same vein that was in the late 60s, when people could make jokes about it and not feel that they became the national enemy they became under Reagan and Bush.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.